Hi, I'm Debra Birnbaum, and I'm here with Amy Sherman-Palladino and Daniel Palladino, the ultimate dream team.
Yes. Wow. Okay, we'll take it. We'll take it.
How's that for a setup? Well, the idea for this dream team is to talk about creative collaborations, but I can think of no better creative collaboration than the two of you. You've been working together for years. What's your secret? How do you keep the magic going?
Oh, so much alcohol. Just constant inebriation. I don't know. What is it, Dan? What's your magic?
I think we get this question from all walks of life. Like we have our Teamster driver would be like, how do you work with your wife, Dad? I cannot picture. There's that. There's people who find it horrifying. There's people who find it inspiring,
mystifying.
I think it really started in earnest on Gilmore Girls when Amy wrote the pilot and produced the pilot and was having some trouble. It's 22 episodes you suddenly have to come up with. And I knew exactly what she was doing. The script was very, very delicate. The project was sort of very, very delicate. It wasn't a plot heavy concept. It
was a time when they were leaning heavily into Dawson's Creek, and it wasn't a show that the WB Dancing Frog really totally understood.
Yeah, so I knew instinctively exactly what she was going for. So even though I was running Family Guy at the time, when I would finish up there, I would go from North Hollywood over to Burbank and help her out on the weekends. And I wrote some of the scripts in the beginning, and that's sort of how it started. And then from there, we debate we break every story together in a room, usually with other writers. And if we have a disagreement, we basically the win
cage fight.
We cage fight
it out,
and the win goes to the person who's most passionate about their side. And then once that path is picked, the other person takes that as their path as well. And there's no "I told you so" later. It's just sort of like, that's our path. It was your path. I'm going to go for it, or it was my path. I think the worst thing you can do in a partnership is later on say, "I told you so," because it's uncreative, it's mean. And I think that's the main thing that we sort of figured out.
And the other thing, I don't think people realize the job is so big. It's such a ridiculously big job that there are many days where we don't see each other till martinis come out at dinner, because if I'm directing, he could be in editing, or if someone's in the room, or someone else could be off writing, or someone's doing casting. It's like, there's so much to do that they're literally like, we'll go in together. We'll say like, see ya. And then like many hours go by. And then, we're sitting at a bar going, and what was your day like? So
we're not even together now. We're using AI.
It's CGI.
Different. I'm in Nebraska.
See, I can't even.
I like cows.
Yeah.
What did you just do?
Well, showing the AI.
Or is that AI?
Really
That's how technical we are. We think this is AI. So
coming up next season on Étoile.
That's right.
How do you divide and conquer? Are there particular parts of the job either of you like more than the other, or dislike more than the other, that you hand off to each other?
It's not so much hand off.
I can't write an outline to save my life.
Oh, that's true. I write all the outlines.
He writes all the outlines because I'm just like, at that point, I just want to start writing the script and the whole. But the way it works in our world, we break things so detailed in the room because our outlines are meant to tell Bill Groom exactly what sets he needs to build, exactly what costumes we need, how many dancers Marguerite needs to find for the dance, how many dancers we need, what music we need, like all of that. It is in our outlines so that when we hand them out to production, they can all sort of like choom and go do their thing. So outlines are actually extremely important. They're not just a writer's tool. They're really more a production tool for us.
Yeah.
And I think, which means I don't care. So I'm just sort of like, I just want to get to this. And Dan, God love him, is the patient one who actually sits and makes sure that the outlines are cohesive because it's the lifeline to making production work in our world.
And I think that we both started off as writers, obviously, and I think once we transitioned into directing some or most of what we do, really kept us engaged. I mean, directing is such a puzzle that you can never really solve. I think it's kept us really engaged in a way that I don't think we would have if we had not went.
Well, also writing is really lonely. Like you're sitting in a room and you're staring at a computer, and the computer is basically saying to you, you're out of words, you're done. Why haven't you retired yet? So you're having a conversation with your computer saying, but no, I have to, like people are waiting for the script, and your computer is saying, well, they're shit out of luck. And so while you're arguing with a piece of equipment, you could be on stage with actors and with, your DP, and you're all together. And if you get stuck on stage and something isn't quite working, people have ideas. It's such like a fun, family, frenetic, energetic. That's where you see the dancers and the music and it all sort of, you get to hang out with Luke Kirby. How's that bad? So it's like
not terrible.
So great. And compared to sort of the lonely sadness of being in a corner eating your hair when you're writing a script, I think we need that to keep it going.
See, I'm not here.
AI.
He's not really there. I see nothing. I see nothing.
I don't know where he is.
How do you decide between the two of you who's going to tackle which script as a director? Because I know you're both so passionate about directing. Is it which episode you're more attached to?
Yeah, I think it's pretty organic. It sort of comes naturally. I mean, there's times where we are kind of like, I wish I kind of want, but in general, it's sort of, I don't know. It's just sort of like this is something feels like, oh, this is something I'm going to take, or something feels like that's, Dan's got such a strong instinct for the most important part of that, like that's what he should take. So that actually has been kind of a pretty organic conversation. It's sort of like something, and frankly, when you're in this business for 400 years, which we're going on our 400th anniversary,
yes,
which is amazing.
You look great for your age.
Wish us happy 400th anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. When you've been doing it this long, what you want is to be jealous of something that someone else has done. So there's nothing kind of better for me than if he directs an episode that I didn't necessarily, my eye wasn't on that episode, but then I see him and I see what he's done and I'm like, God damn it, I wish and then I'm really jealous and angry, so that I want to, like, in my next episode, I got to, like, sort of up my own game. It's sort of, it keeps you from being sort of like, well, we'll just do it this way. Everyone just sit down and have a conversation. It sort of keeps you on your toes.
How did you come up with the idea for this dance show? And by the way, did you have a crystal ball where suddenly arts were going to become a thing that we were going to have to fight for?
No. And how sad that we're in a position where we're fighting for something so important that is basically, I don't know if people understand that, drawing on the walls of caves was art. Like, art has been part of the human experience for as long as there have been humans, and to be losing it should terrify everybody, because it's the best part of people is when you think differently and you can learn about other experiences that aren't your own, or your mind can go someplace that you didn't think it could go. That's what art does. So no, we didn't foresee it. But I think, I was a dancer. I trained as a dancer my whole life. Point shoes I have got 3 back surgeries to prove it. Welcome to the world of rods in your lower back. So it's always kind of been in my sort of zeitgeist. And then Dan was a musician, so our writing is sort of rhythmic, and it has sort of a pattern to it that it's a beat, and it just sort of is an organic world for us. And we tiptoed into it with Bunheads, although Bunheads was much more of a sort of a coming of age with a background in ballet, and having always had dancers around us, and dancers were very important to the Maisel experience. We did many big dance coordinated sequences on Maisel. It just felt like a world we wanted to sort of live in. We love dancers. We love the fact that these are these amazing creatures that are totally and completely devoted to an art form where they're guaranteed to never make a dime. Which is a shocking thing. Like, it's just pure love of the art form. That's a spirit and sort of an energy you kind of need in your world. So it was just we just sort of slid into the idea of like, if we were ever going to do a workplace comedy, what sort of workplace comedy would we do? And ballet seemed to be the right fit.
What do you want people to take away from the show?
That ballet is a weird, wonderful, interesting world, that it's not all tutus and swans on stage, that it's a very athletic, you're racing against the clock. It's grueling, it's tough, it's cutthroat, it's weird. And frankly, it's for everyone. It's storytelling. It is. Mm-hmm. If you like story, if you like athletics, if you like music, if you like drama and comedy or just spectacle, that's what ballet is. Ballet is not some precious art form that the Van Uppities go on a Friday night with their monocles and their, I've got to put on my tuxedo. And like, that is not what ballet is. Ballet is for everyone. And if more people could just realize that it's this wonderful thing that's right there, and be a part of it and experience it, it can change your world a little bit.
Yeah, it's an entertaining, funny show about the fragility of arts. I think everybody loves the arts in some form or another. We live in New York City. We see people with MAGA hats going to Broadway shows
and crying and coming out sobbing and they're touched, and
it's something that can bring people together, and it's something that we want to protect, whether it's ballet or broad theater or television or films, to be seen theatrically, not all on TV
or on your watch. People, no Lawrence Arabia on your watch. Enough of that.
It's something unacceptable for all of us to fight for, and we just wanted to obviously do it in an entertaining way.
And you certainly did. It's such an ambitious show. As you look back over the course of the season and you see the final result, is there a moment you're proudest of or a scene you're proudest of?
Oh boy, it's hard. I'm proud of the whole thing.
Yeah, we shot so it was such a wacky schedule for us, because
to do that I was like, wow, we did it.
We shot everything out of order. I mean, we didn't even finish the first episode until the very, very end of our shoot. We had never done anything like that because we were crisscrossing countries and we had to get out of Paris for the Olympics.
One of the last things we shot was the Big in Japan dance number that Cheyenne does in the first episode. So it was just sort of like, it was not a way we had ever worked before.
But it's a big cast of characters, which is that we introduced right off the bat. Gilmore Girls became a big cast of characters, but it was small, and then it got larger over the years.
Yeah.
So this was our chance to do like a big ensemble workplace comedy set in a dramatic world. And I think, I need to watch the shows again and really judge. I think we pulled off we achieved what we were attempting to do. And yeah, it was the most ambitious thing we've ever attempted, for sure.
Yeah, there's something wrong with us. We need to be checked out, but
also we hate boredom.
Yeah, we do. And we love these actors, and we got to live in Paris for a while, and there's no bad there.
Nothing bad about that at all. And given all of that, what do you want to see in season 2? What can you tease, or what do you want to accomplish in season 2?
I want there to be a season 2. I know that there was an announcement that we got a 2-season pickup, but that is fake news, ladies and gentlemen. So as they, it's tough. We're in a time where IP is king, and we're not based on a comic book. Although I've tried to lie to Amazon and say, no, it was a very successful
graphic novel.
I read it. I remember it.
They're all weapons. You read that, right?
Furiously drawing
season
this graphic
2,
novel.
like they all murder people during Swan Lake. So it's like, I don't know. we would just love to have a season 2, and I'm not sure if that's possible, but so we're going to live with the wonderfulness of these actors and how great they are, and these beautiful dancers, and sort of try and just keep from jumping off a building. Welcome to Hollywood.